Our project is a Sudoku solver, the Sudoku game that we developed using Pygame. The little UI, we have a little cat, numbers, very cutesy. Welcome to Sudoku, easy, medium, game, and all the text that we coded using Pygame. And also, we have different modes. So the easy mode will remove 30 cells, meaning that the user will have to input 30 digits into the Sudoku board. The medium button will remove 40 cells, and the user thus will have to input 40 digits into the board to solve it. And then the hard will remove 50 cells, meaning that the user will have to input 50 cells into the Sudoku board in order to solve it. And so here we go. We're going to enter the easy game mode. So easy.
All right, so for the easy mode, we talked about how it removes 30 cells, meaning that the user themselves has to input values for those 30 cells. So on like overall, out of the 81 cells that there are, the user has to input only 30 of them compared to the 51 numbers that are given, the 51 digits that are already given from 1 through 9. And in Sudoku, the general rules is just that you have to make sure that in each column and in each row, whatever number you put, it doesn't appear more than once. So for example, in this column, you can't have 2 again. And in that row, you also can't have 2 again. So in that respective column and row, that number cannot repeat. So as you can see here, when we input a number, or just when we're just selecting things, we press our mouse on any of these cells, it'll show a red outline. And this just indicates that this is the cell that you have selected, meaning that if you type anything, it'll have it sketch the number. So when it's sketching the number here, it won't preserve it for when you want to run it. So let's say you put a bunch of ones, a bunch of numbers in here, right? If you do this, it won't end up registering it if you completed the whole board just like that. It'll only do it once you press enter. So when you click enter, and then when we enter the last one, it'll show game over, and this will basically just take us to the restart, and we have little sad cat and all that stuff. Yeah, just basically we just had a lot of fun making this stuff and making it just like a cat theme, just a cat that enjoys Sudoku. So when you click enter, you'll be able to lock in and place that number into that cell. Whenever you want to change it, you would have to click it again, press backspace, and that's when you're able to just press any number without having to backspace, is whenever you're sketching the number. But whenever you enter it, you cannot do that same setting. And basically here is that whenever you want to reset it, let's say you messed up, you reset it. It doesn't matter if you have any that are sketched or you have some that are placed. You click reset and it'll completely clear your board. Now, if you want to restart, it'll take you back to the menu. And then here is when you get to check all the other stuff. And we can go back to easy. You see how it still randomizes all the numbers. It randomizes the numbers in different parts of the blocks and all the different cells, but it still makes sure that it remains at 51 cells for this one. It still makes you so that you have to input 30. And same goes for all the other ones. So here, of course, if we want to exit, we just do this. And just to mention, we are also able to navigate these with not just hovering our mouse and clicking them, but also with the arrow keys. So we can just click exit, and then yeah, it'll take us out. It'll completely exit out of the program, and you just have to run it again using going into the terminal and writing Python 3 and then the name of the file, which in this case we are running the sudoku.py, which is the file that we made, basically combining all of the methods, all of the different types of functions and stuff that we used from the other files. So it'd be coming from the cell.py, board.py, and the Sudoku underscore generator.py, all in one thing where we're combining it and making all the UI. So as you can see, like the functionality with the exit stuff works from it's just exiting out. And then when we restart, all of that stuff works as well. And we can definitely test the randomization in the medium version. So each time it's giving random numbers, but it's still making it so that it has 40 removed cells each time, just with different numbers for the ones that are already given. So yeah, and when we go to hard, same thing. Basically within the difficulties, we are keeping the same amount of boxes. So it's still going to be like a 9 by 9 thing, meaning that we're going to have exactly 81 cells. However, it does just change the number of things. So that way we made sure functionality doesn't end up adding new cells or new boxes just for the difficulty. We made sure that it only makes the difficulty based on the removed cells. And as you can see here with the hard, it makes it so that it removes 50 cells, meaning that you only have 31 cells given to you for the digits. And if we want to try and solve one of these here, all right, so as you can see, we already got to place the majority of the numbers. So we're going to leave the next two. And after using sudokuspoiler.com, which is what we use to just speed up the process of making sure that all this is correct to get to the game one screen, we just input the last number, 3 and then 1. And then we get the game one section. So right here, we just had a little fun, make sure that, that the user can very easily tell when they won and when they lost. And yeah, just making it just a fun little thing. And as an addition, instead of using the Times New Roman font, we basically just ended up doing something else. And I found out that I had a gameplay font, and that way it just made it more playful and everything. So yeah.